Hey y'all, I'm back and I have more Let's Not Meet stories, and I know what you're thinking. I just read Let's Not Meet, but you guys, I went on the subreddit today and I saw a story that I just have to read. So I saved 3 stories. There are so many Let's Not Meet stories on the subreddit right now. If you want paranormal, you guys are gonna have to give me paranormal. But I literally have to read this story. So I have more of your Let's Not Meet stories that I'm really nervous to read. This one is called The Killer Kid, and they even put like not clickbait, which I never expected to be clickbait, but I started reading this. I never realized my experience in a level 5 residential psychiatric treatment facility could be considered a Let's Not Meet. I was inspired to submit this story after hearing you read another direct support professional story. This might be a long one, but I promise it's worth it. When I started in this lockdown facility, I knew what I was getting into. These children were in the foster care system and had horrible, horrible lives. Any behavior they had was a product of their environment. That being said, there is one kid that has stuck with me for all the wrong reasons. She was the scariest child I have ever worked with. She was 11 years old and she was hospitalized for drowning her 2-year-old foster sister. She had also stabbed multiple children in her previous schools, banning her from all the schools in the district. The psychiatric facility had a school only for our clients for the safety of other children. I'd been attacked by the other kids when she came in, but she was different. The kids that had hurt me before had reactive attachment disorder. Basically, they hurt you because they know that you won't hurt them back. This child was diagnosed with homicidal ideation, and she had stated that she wanted to hurt for fun. She had been there about a week when she first tried to escape, referred to as AWOL. She had manipulated a staff member to bring her into the medicine room. She knew they'd have to set down their keys. Once they did, she grabbed them and ran. She used the key to get out of the first hallway and then the ID card to scan herself out of the building. Then once she made it to the gates, she scanned herself out and bolted. That's how I knew she would be a problem. We had a good relationship and she trusted me. I did not trust her, but I liked that she opened up to me. Every night we were required to do bed checks in 15-minute increments, but since she had a history of AWOLing, we had to sit directly outside of her door to listen to her while she slept. Since she trusted me, I did so to not scare her. There were many nights I would hear her screaming in her sleep, likely because of trauma. One night I hear whispering. A full one-sided conversation. Concerned, I peek in. She is standing in the corner of her bed facing the wall and literally shaking. I ran out and had someone else do her bed checks for the night. When they checked, she was sound asleep. She would convince the other kids there were people looking into their windows. Impossible. Again, it was a lockdown campus. Doing this, she instilled fear in the other kids to not even want to enter their own rooms. One of these nights, she herself refused to enter her room. I tried everything in my power to convince her, and I finally did. Or so I thought. She was in her room for a couple minutes, and she came out and said, "I'm scared, can I have a hug?" I didn't notice her hands were behind her back. I leaned in for a hug, and she grabbed my hair and held up a pencil to my eye. She yelled at me about how she was going to kill me. I was so scared. The pencil was less than a centimeter away from my eye, and I knew that she meant what she said. I called for a show of assistance, fancy word for help me, and another staff member came towards her to restrain her. She dropped the pencil and ran away, weaving down the hallways. We thought we saw her enter the laundry room. We go in there and there's nothing in there, which is odd because there's nowhere to hide. We go into the office to check the cameras and we were right. She is in the laundry room. Inside that room, there is a blind spot, but there's no exit except past the camera. We didn't see her in there. Worried she had AWOL'd again, somehow we rushed back in the room that she was last seen, and she was not in there. This is an old government building. Brick walls and the school tile ceiling. Minimal windows, the laundry room was a concrete block. There was no way out, but there was a way up. I'm on my phone trying to call the on-call therapist and other staff members to help us look. I hear a cracking noise. All of a sudden I have an urge to look up and not behind. I see the tile is unevenly placed. I cannot make this part up. The killer kid jumps out of the ceiling onto one of my fellow staff members, a large man, and attempts to claw his eyes out. I had to pull her off and physically restrain her. We had to put her in a timeout room, yes, a padded room, until she could calm down. Per protocol, I watched her through the window. She was punching and told me that when she got out, she was going to kill me and that she should have the chance she got. I was at work until 3 a.m. that day and I never came back. I was terrified of that child. I had worked with many kids, and yes, a lot of those had committed crimes. However, I loved those children deeply, and they loved me. Even if they hurt me, hurt was the only love they've ever known. This child was different. This child almost took away the profession I love so deeply. I didn't let her. I work in an outpatient facility now. I'm now a stepping stone to integrate these kids back into normal life. I love my job then and now, but to the killer kid, let's never meet again. No, because that's actually just terrifying. You guys, and I know that it's like so far off like from what like you, okay, I'm fully aware that this is so different than what you actually experienced, but it reminds me like to such an insane degree of the child that I babysat when I was younger. I have a whole video on it. It's called like I babysat a murderer or like a child murderer or something like that. It was my friend's brother, and we were over there for a sleepover, and we were all like babysitting him kind of. I don't know, like her parents weren't home, but he was with us and he was pretty young. And I was probably like barely out of elementary school, if even, like I don't know. And this child had a knife and chased us, and we had to lock ourselves into a room, and he was threatening to kill us, and his sisters were like holding him back because he didn't want to kill them. He just wanted to kill us apparently. There was like 3 of us there besides his sisters, and there were 2 sisters, so like 5 of us and him, and they had to hold him back, and he threatened to kill us for like hours. We were like tempted to climb out the 2nd story window because we did not know what to do. We were hiding in the closet, shaking and crying. It was awful, and there was like no way for him to even get in the room. He was, again, really young, but like, I don't care. Even like a 7-year-old threatening to kill you is terrifying. Like, I just can't even imagine her being that close to you with the pencil. Oh my God, I literally can't. But that kid, when he finally calmed down, the next day we went out to the desert, which we would do a lot. And we were like digging and looking for stuff. And we would like collect paintballs at people, whatever. We were just like young, stupid kids. And he wanted my friend's shovel because his was too small, which wasn't working as well, whatever. And she was like, no, you can wait your turn. And he threatened to kill us again, and she threw the shovel because she was like, what the fuck? And we like ran away again. I don't know why we still stayed there after the mishap, but we were like, okay, well, he's calm, so it's fine. And then he threatened to kill us again. Anyways, next story. To the creepy guy lurking outside of my house, let's not meet. Hi, I've been watching your videos for a few years now, and your Let's Not Meet stories really made me feel so much better about what happened to me, and I finally want to share my story. Sorry, I know it's long, but I've never been known to tell a story that gets straight to the point. Same. It started when I was 13. It was my town's big Memorial Day parade, and for the first time, I was going to watch it instead of being in it. I'd been offered by a woman, we'll call her Jane, I babysat for to help watch her kids during the parade. She had 4 kids in exchange for $20 and ice cream. It was a good deal and it wasn't hard work or anything, so I agreed. The plan was to walk to the parade together. I was going to meet her and the kids at the corner of my block and walk from there. For context, I live next to a mechanic shop that was on the corner, and we share a driveway with him. Due to a holiday, his shop was closed and most of the cars were not in the lot, so I had open space to hang out and draw with some chalk while I waited. Also, much to my dad's dismay, I was gifted my very first crop top that year, and it was red, white, and blue, so I figured it was the perfect top for the occasion. While I was drawing with chalk, I could see the full way up the road where Jane was supposed to be coming from, and since she was coming with all the kids, she would be easy to spot. While I was waiting, she texted me she was running a little bit late, but I figured it was nice, I didn't need to wait inside for her, and I would keep coloring. While I did that, I noticed a guy standing at the corner, and I was a bit confused since I had never seen him before. I live in a small town, and everyone knows everyone, but I sort of figured he was coming in to visit family and watch the parade. He was cute too, so I kept sneaking up glances at him. After about 10 minutes of him standing at the corner, I noticed him walking towards me. I was young and stupid and figured he was young and cute, and I didn't need to worry. Boy, was I wrong. He came up to me and started talking. Creepy guy. Hey, do you know why there's so many people walking around today? Me. It's the parade. It starts in a few minutes. You aren't going to the parade? I am. I'm just waiting for my friends to walk over. Oh, that's too bad. I was gonna say if you were alone, I'd go with you. I heard it's a good parade. That was my first realization that something was up. He seemed nice enough, and honestly, he was cute, so I brushed it off thinking he was making small talk or trying to flirt. I was honestly flattered by it, but I laughed it off. And he didn't stop. So do you go to insert local college name? Me. And no, I'm not in college yet. Really? But you look so grown. That made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. I was 13. There was no way I looked old enough to be in college, and even I knew that back then. So you go to insert high school name? I didn't want to be rude, but I also didn't want to tell him that I was in middle school or the name of it, so I lied. I actually go to a local Catholic high school. No way, I graduated from there last year. It's too bad you're still in high school. My friend and I are having a party tonight and would have told you to come and bring some friends. I laughed awkwardly and realized he definitely wasn't planning on leaving anytime soon, but I was worried about him knowing where I lived even though I was in my driveway, so that was a stupid thing on my part. I decided to pretend the next person I saw walking by was the friend I was waiting for since I knew pretty much everyone in town. Luckily, the next people to walk by were a neighbor and a group of girls my age, so I quickly told the guy I had to go and I ran to them. We walked a few houses down the road and I cut through my neighbor's backyard and went to my back door and texted Jane that I was waiting in my house and to come to the door. I don't know why I didn't tell either Jane or the girls about the creepy guy, but I didn't. Finally, a few minutes later, Jane showed up at my door and we walked to the parade route, and as we walked past my driveway, I saw the creepy guy standing at the same corner as before and he waved to me, telling me to have fun. I kind of forgot about him as I watched the parade until we were walking to the ice cream shop and he was there a few tables away and waved again. Jane, being the vigilant mom she was, realized it was the same guy and asked if I knew him, so I finally told her about our earlier interaction. She was pissed and texted my parents, packed the kids into the stroller, and took us all out of the ice cream shop and started to walk me home to make sure I got there safely. My parents got home, I told them the whole story, we made sure to lock all the doors and keep an eye out for him. Later that night, as we were watching a movie, my dog started to bark, so I thought he needed to go out. I brought him to the yard, and wouldn't you know, he was standing in the corner again. I ran back inside and told my dad, who came out yelling, and I thought scared him off. I went to bed thinking the mess was over. About a week later, I was playing with my dog outside, and I saw him again at the corner. When I told my dad, he called the non-emergency police, and by the time they got there, he was gone again. The next day I saw him again. This time he acknowledged me by name, which was weird because I never told him my name when we talked. I was really creeped out and ran straight home. Based on where he was standing on the corner, I could see him from my window, and since it was summer, they were open. So I noticed when I got inside, he immediately went on a phone call talking about a blonde girl, and I heard the phrase, "The parents are a problem." My parents called the police again, and this time they came with their sirens on, and when I heard them, I guess so did he, and he ran into a car that was running a few feet up the road, hopped in the passenger seat, and drove away. Oh my God. I never saw him again, and the police never found anything except the car he was in when they drove away had plates registered to a stolen vehicle from 4 towns over. It's been 10 years and it still freaks me out. How did he know my name? And why did he keep coming back? I've gone down too many rabbit holes of what if he was trying to kidnap me, hurt me, something worse, or was he really just some awkward guy who was innocently trying to flirt? Whatever his plan was, I'm glad I never got to figure it out. So to the creepy guy standing on my corner for a few days, let's not meet. No, because him being on the phone and being like the blonde girl and like the parents, no, there was no way that was like innocent. And also, it's not innocent regardless because this man graduated and he's hitting on a 13-year-old. So none of it's innocent. I hate that you could see him from your window. I just hate that. Like he was just standing on the corner like, wait, I don't know. Everything about that is awful. Okay, last story. I got ducked by a stalker. Hey Courtney, I wanted to share this story to just make sure I'm not losing my mind. I'm a 23-year-old girl. You can call me Rebecca, mainly because that's my name. I'm also 4 months pregnant and I work as an innkeeper at a bed and breakfast. The bed and breakfast is deep in the mountains of Appalachia, up a curvy road, and takes a good while to get to. This and other reasons is why I decided to get a Jeep when I traded in my car. I needed something that had 4-wheel drive and would be able to get me to work. This is all important because I want to establish how isolated I am where I work. There's only one way in and out of the parking lot, and the lot is rather small. I can see all the cars when I step outside of the front door. So I work the overnight shift at the B&B. It's very laid back and I can read my books, watch TV all night, which is a dream job for an expecting mother. This happened last week. I came into work and the night was very calm and quiet. Around 1 in the morning, I did have a man come in with his son. The man was probably in his 40s with a beer gut and the smell of cigarettes, which made me sick to my stomach, and his son was about my age. He was quiet and just stood behind his father at check-in. He must have been into sports because he had that build. I checked them in and then they went to their rooms. I watched a couple episodes of Friends. I got up from the sofa in the lobby and walked behind my desk to get my Ziploc bag of Lucky Charms out of my bag. When I came around the corner, the son was standing there. It scared the crap out of me and caused me to drop the bag in my hand. I asked if I could help him and he asked where the vending machines were. Pointed him in the direction, and before he left, he stopped and started watching the TV along with me. We laughed about the joke Joey had just made, and then we started talking more. His name was Theo. He was on his way back to college. His dad wanted to help him get resettled. As we were talking, my car alarm began to go off. I ran outside and Theo followed me. When I stopped the alarm, I noticed that on my door handle was a small rubber duck. Theo and I walked back inside, and then on the counter was a bag. Theo decided to open it for me just in case. It had baby clothes inside that smelled like cigarettes and pictures of me from the B&B and even at home. Theo opened the letter that was in the bag and it said, "How the sender couldn't wait to see me as a mommy, and if I didn't take care of my baby, it would be taken from me." I was so creeped out, and I think Theo was too because he said he would just sit up with me for the rest of my shift. I tried to call the police, but they said unless any threats had been made, they couldn't do anything. Fuck you. Theo explained how ducking is a thing people do with Jeeps, so I thought maybe it was another guest, but when we stepped outside, there wasn't a single Jeep in the lot, and there hadn't been any all night. Theo and I exchanged numbers because his campus is kind of close to the B&B, so maybe we'll get coffee sometime, but I just wanted to put this out here and get your opinion. Should I be freaked out? To whoever was stalking me at my job and ducked my new Jeep and left stinky baby clothes and pictures of me, let's not meet. You have to report that dude. Like, I know they said they can't do anything, but like, and I'm sure, I don't know if you like actually did file anything, but that's terrifying. The pictures of you and they know you're pregnant and they're giving you, and I'm like, because you said the dad smelled like cigarettes, and that's freaking me out. That's freaking me out because you said the baby clothes smelled like cigarettes. I don't know, I'm like, don't trust Theo. I don't know. I'm like scared for you. That's really scary. Okay, well, that's all I have for now. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any other creepy, stalker, weird, let's not meet stories that you want to share with me or the community, I will have my subreddit link down below. All of those were so bad. Like, actually, and like, honestly, super different from what we've heard before. I don't even know why. I know they're all like, they all have the same, I don't know, theme of like weird stalkery people, but I actually can't even get over any of those. They're all in my brain, but like, so my brain's running at 1,000,000 miles per hour, like going through every story. That doesn't always happen. It's usually like one story that sticks out the most, but I'm like, what the fuck? The guy in the corner, the killer kid, and then, oh my god, the duck. I can't handle this, so I'm gonna go. I love you guys so much. I will see you in the next one. Bye.